you always had longer times too, like you'd have 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. So
How much time do you have now with your
for
clients?
most clients, say 1 hour. We do have some for 45-minute visits, and especially when you may see the client more than at once a day, and then it's usually cut back to 45-minute visits. And I know in a lot of the places the girls go into, like the retirement homes or into the adult buildings, and they may only have a half hour, which is really, really difficult to, you're rushing people. And
So I imagine there's times when you want to do more, but time's up.
Time's up, yeah, so you have to make your visit count.
23 years is a very long time. What made you stay in the profession?
Well, honestly, it's probably you get in a job that you feel you do well and you know well, and it's that comfortable element happens. And at one time, I did actually think of going on and taking my RPN, and but it just, it didn't work out for me, family-wise, and the commitment I would have had to make at that time. So I just thought, no, this is, what's best for me and my family. And as I say, in the early years, it was so much easier to put your hours around your needs and your family. It was easy when children were small and growing. But as time went on and things changed, I guess that feeling of being comfortable just stayed with me, and probably thinking, well, I'm getting to be this age, and do I really want to do something different? And you stay with it because I guess you go through difficult times with changing, in management and your supervisors and your bosses, and there's always downtimes. There's always times that you get disgruntled with it and everything, but the bottom line is you just love the job. You love going out, meeting people in their homes, and there's a sense of freedom to it. You're sort of your own boss, but at times there are situations where you wish you had that coworker with you to get through something, but you just get used to being on your own, so you're a bit independent that way.
Looking back on the 23 years, do you have a day or a client that really sticks out in your mind that you look back and are like, wow, that's amazing, that was a great experience?
Well, yes, probably. There's lots of them, and it's rewarding because they will say, oh, Barb, I couldn't have got through this without you, or
Tell me about one of them.
well, just people who, like, not everyone has a great family, or not everyone has great friends or support, and they're facing challenges in their life, like health-wise, and they're very frightened of receiving help from a stranger, and in the beginning, a lot of these people, they have nursing coming in, they have maybe physiotherapy coming in, occupational therapy, they've got all these different people coming from different agencies, and then half the time, they don't understand the system at all, and when you show up, they may not even know what you're supposed to, why you're there, or what you're supposed to be doing. So you have to establish that, and then you build from that rapport. And sometimes, people think that they're never going to get better, or they're never going to make a transition from hip surgery or whatever. It's all very daunting, I'm never going to walk again or whatever, and you help out. And lots of times, they just say, oh, that I couldn't do it without her. I depend on her, to come. And also we have a lot of clients who, especially those with, dementia too and Alzheimer's, and the families, they're so happy to have us to be able to get that break and spend time. And once you build a rapport with a client like that, it's hard for them too to switch over to another worker. Sometimes, your personalities are different, and so sometimes that's very rewarding, because family will say, oh, you're going on holidays, who's coming, and I'll say, oh, there'll be someone come, they'll be great. Or sometimes they'll just say, well, I think we'll wait a week then and wait till you come back,
Till Barb comes back.
I had a routine mammogram coming up. Once you turn 50, you were notified that you should have a mammogram, and then every 2 years you would have one. So it was coming up my due date to have that done, and I went and had my mammogram. And then a day later, I think it was, I came home, and on the answering machine there was a message that could I come back for a second screening. And I thought, oh great, ho-hum, like I have to try and book off time now to go back. And I remember thinking that I'd heard other women saying, oh, it's such a drag. Yeah, they'll call you back and you go back and there's nothing anyway, and should I really even bother going? And then something just said, oh, don't be stupid, go back. Right. So I went back and had my second screening, and then they said, well, there is something showing and up a little bit of something. Would you be able to stay now and go down? Radiology would like you to have an ultrasound. So I said, yeah, sure. So I went down had an ultrasound done, and
what were you thinking at that point?
I was thinking, okay, this isn't really going great, but I felt wonderful. I didn't, I thought there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with me. And so I went, and then they did a biopsy that day too. And so then I was very nervous and anxious, what was going to happen. And so then in a few days, I got another call from my own doctor's office saying, I need to see you 9 o'clock tomorrow morning in my office.
Gosh.
And I knew immediately then that it was not good news.
Right. It was a phone call, like you spoke with him?
No, it was a call on the machine to, so come in. So
what was it like getting that message?
Just that. It was like, just that impact of, I know, that sense that you have, I know this is bad. There's something, I've got cancer, whatever, and so I went, and at that point in time, it was my family doctor, and he said, yeah, I'm sorry, to tell you this, but there is, the biopsy showed it's an invasive ductal carcinoma. The good thing was it was less than a centimeter in size, but it definitely was an invasive lump. Right away then he said, we're going, do you have a surgeon that you'd like to see? Like, they just started booking appointments one after the other, and then I had to go back and have a biopsy actually done on my other breast, and to be sure, luckily everything was benign in that. And then it all that was happening and all that information, and I remember driving home and I had another appointment. I had a client coming up to see, and I'm thinking, you're in such disbelief because you don't feel sick or ill, and the lump being so small, I couldn't feel it myself. It was like, this is just a bad dream. But anyway, so I guess you just sort of freeze.
Do you want to tell the camera about the importance of getting tested and urging all the women watching to get tested?
Oh, yes, definitely. Every woman out there, please go and have your mammogram. You have to take care of yourself in order to take care of the people that depend on you and love you and want you forever. So please, please go and have that uncomfortable test done, because it could save your life, and I feel it has saved mine. Thank you. So for everyone who likes our Facebook page, the SEIU will donate $1 towards the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation. Thank you.